What's going on, guys? Sinking out here, and welcome back to a new video. Today's video we're going to be talking about the last week in Thunder training camp news, and then the second preseason game against the Bulls. So before I get into that, just want to make sure that you like this video and subscribe to the channel. It would mean a lot to me. And yeah, let's get into it. So first bit of news is just that everyone has now reported to training camp. People like Justin Jackson, Al Horford, who weren't there last week have now came, whether that was because of Corona or any other reason, they're now with the team. So everyone on the roster is with the team. They might not necessarily be available for the game that's just passed against the Bulls, but they're on the roster and they are with the team in Oklahoma. The second isn't necessarily Oklahoma City Thunder news, but it's to do with the OKC Blue, the G League team. So the arena they play in, which is the Cox Convention Center, is being transferred into a production studio. So the Blue are no longer able to play there, so they will have to look for a new home to play their games. So we'll see what happens with that. I'll update you if there's any new news related to that. And then just a bit of small news is the OKC Earn jersey, which has just been leaked. I'll put up the last Earn jersey that we had 2 seasons ago, and then I'll get into this new one. So you get the Earn jersey for making the playoffs, and this year, this is what ours looks like. I'll put it up on the screen now. The only problem I have with it is it looks identical to what the Dallas Mavericks Earn jersey is. I'll put them both up next to each other on the screen right now. And it's also kind of just meh. There's nothing special about it, it's just plain. And then it's also the exact same as another team's jersey. Maybe when they officially get released it'll be different. Hopefully, you can dream, but yeah, it's not the best. It's just kind of a plain blue jersey. Maybe would have rather than go back to that kind of old jersey with the Thunder down the side, vertically. Up with that on the screen now again now. And yeah, now into the news, more into the game today. So Lou Dort, Darius Bazley, Justin Jackson, Al Horford are all now available to play in today's game and are expected to play. That still leaves Darius Miller and Ty Jerome, who are still out for whatever that reason is. That they're out, they haven't really said what's wrong, whether it's injury or any other reason. And then Mike Muscala and George Hill are also not available for this game. They're being rested as they're vets and don't really need to play in the preseason. Let the young guys play even more than they are when the regular season starts. And then just the starting lineup for today's game was Shea Gilgeous-Alexander at the point, Lou Dort, Justin Jackson, Darius Bazley and Al Horford. I would say that's more likely to be something more accurate to what the starting lineup will be when the season begins, rather than having people like George Hill and Mark Muscala in the starting lineup. It's going to be more like the lineup which was in today's game. And now on to the actual game. It was a really disappointing game for the Thunder, as we lost by 21 points. OKC 103, Chicago Bulls 124. Standouts for the Bulls, I'll just go through quick. Zach LaVine, who went off in the first quarter, who had 16 points in the first and finished off with 24 points. And then Kobe White, who I believe had 17 in the third quarter, 18 points in the third quarter it was actually, and he finished with 27 points. And they were the two main players for the Bulls, so clearly our perimeter defense wasn't exactly there in the game today. First half, it was more Lou Dort defending Zach LaVine. In the third quarter, it was more people like Tejo Maledon. So can't really look into it much. It's a preseason game. I didn't really watch much of the second half because we were down by 35 or something at one point. Standouts for the Thunder: Al Horford, 15 points, 7 rebounds and an assist. He looked pretty good in his first OKC game. Was able to stretch the floor, play some decent defense and play inside. Shea had 12 points for the game. 11 of those were in the first quarter. 3 assists, 3 rebounds. He looked really good in this game, especially in that first quarter. Didn't play in the second half, as none of our starters did play in the second half, besides from Justin Jackson. And then I did notice Darius Bazley only scored 7 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, but he looked pretty decent, besides from one air ball in the second quarter. But again, first game back looked pretty good. And then there was Lou Dort, who looked awful off the bench. I mean, not off the bench. He started. He couldn't get his shot to go. He drove to the ring a couple times, got it blocked or stolen. He definitely looked rusty, like he hadn't played 5-on-5 basketball for a long time. And just couldn't get a shot to go. I would assume that will get better as the the next preseason game in the season goes on. But he didn't have a great game today. Then off the bench, Frank Jackson had 15 points. Moses Brown, he had 12 points, a two-way player. And then Isaiah Roby had 9 points, but again, most of those guys played in the second half, so as I said earlier, I didn't watch much of the second half, so I can't really comment on it too much. Haven't really seen any interviews after the game, so if anything's been said post-game, I haven't seen it since this is recorded straight after the games. Games just finished. Obviously a disappointing game. This is kind of expected from a young team, though. Kind of have to get better. Can't look into it too much pre-season game, and just try to get better each day. I would hate to see this in the regular season. Kind of want to compete in each game as much as possible. That's it for today's video. Thank you all for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe for any OKC news updates and OKC related videos, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.